You know, it's almost like your birthday with a package from China, so let's go. Oh, it's awesome that you're tuning in. It's time for some Sega time. It's time for some fake bliss processing power from China. So stay tuned and let's go. So when I unboxed this product in my package from China, Ultimate Unboxing, I think a very long time ago already, is that a lot of people did react positive to this box, because this box itself looks really cool. Look at this, it looks like a Mega Drive. Ooh, the packaging looks very nice. I like it a lot. Even the inlay looks nice. Here we're going to get the system itself with a lot of plastic. Fantastic. Hey, we're going to get a multi-game card with it. The 200-in-1. Then the power supply. And that's basically like a 5-volt phone charger in combination with a very long, nice, high quality micro USB cable. 2 controllers. Ooh. First impression, not so well. Then we're going to get the AV out cable over here. And look at that, an HDMI cable. Because this thing can play some HDMI. Ooh. Alright, so the first impression of the controllers was not good. And the reason why, I noticed something with the D-pad. I have seen my share of shitty fake controllers, and this thing is not good. So first of all, what I mean is like the D-pad is a floating D-pad like always, but it is quite high. And that's more like an indication that it is in cheaper quality. There is no mode button. The buttons feel kind of clickish. It's not the case that we're pressing one button and they move all of them or one part of it. And no, it's not like that cheap. We're going to get the mode button over here, start. So it's slightly different and important to smelly test. They smell quite nice. And I have reviewed a lot of these, let's say Sega clones, and they're all using the same shell. But this time we're going to get a very tiny on and off switch, because normally these are like gigantic and very flimsy. Also, the reset button is not like a micro switch, it's like actually like a very nice long travel micro switch. Or yeah, that's what you're going to get with this version. The flaps like the same quality. At the front we're going to get the controller ports, but sadly there is no CF function whatsoever. There is always like something they don't have. So here at the back we're going to get AV out, a very tiny jack connection, input for 5-volt, HDMI out. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to do a capture, and here we're going to get the reset switch for the US, Europe and Japan. Let's grab myself a game, let's see how it fits in. Holy crap. Oh, this is really tight, and that is something I don't like, because if you need to pull them out, it's going to be a freaking nightmare. Okay, so that is most of the time a big problem with these game cards. Let's grab another one. Let's grab an original game. Same story. There is only one thing very concerning, that we're going to get mono sound. And the reason I'm saying concerning, I wouldn't be surprised that we're going to get this also with the freaking HDMI. The first thing that I always wanted to test is powering on without a game card in it, because sometimes they have built in a multi-game card, but with this version it's not the case. So let's get straight into the game testing. Alright, so let's boot up a multi-game card, because some of the system will have issues with it. Yep, it still happens sometimes, but it works like a charm. I tried a couple of games before, so it will boot up without any issue. Press the game and you can see it boots up without any issues. Okay, I want to do a quick test for the Chinese EverDrive, and it seems to be working just fine. And the same also applies to the Mega EverDrive. The original one from Crit works also very well. And the same works with the Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Works like a charm. But I can already hear that the sound is not like it should be. That sounds kind of weird. Where a multi-card, let's say a combination card works, and yeah, there are some issues with this fake Sega. And it's not with the game you would expect it would be a problem with. Because when I'm booting it up with Xenocrisis, my language setting is just all freaking messed up. I tried the game like a couple of times, the game itself is not broken. I also don't have any audio. That's it. It's kind of weird, man. It's kind of weird. And it doesn't boot up the game. It just stays in the title screen. Holy crap. Okay, so I just needed to connect my other Retroid Sega Mega Drive clone, or my other Sega China stuff console or crap thing. Okay guys, so I just needed to show you this, like when I'm using it on a different fake console from China, in this case it's the Retroid, through AV Auto, with the same way of connecting it, it works like a charm, and it also includes for the audio. So you can see, like when it comes to compatibility with some of these systems, you still have some games that are not working on it. But I just wanted to do a quick test with virtual racing, and nope, I already knew it before, like this is a game that will not run on many devices, even if it will run on any clone system at all. You just need to get yourself a real Sega for that. I'm having here the PAL game, and the region switch seems to be working, because when we're sending it on Japanese, we're going to get ourselves the Japanese version. So the region switch seems to be working just fine. But how about the audio? We're also going to do an HDMI capture so you can see how good the audio quality will be from an AV screen capture perspective and the HDMI solution. And when we're going to get a straight capture from the device itself, you can see it looks very nice. But I can say that when you're listening to the sound on the digital, it sounds quite good. And I mean, like, it is better, crisp and clear. But the sound is absolutely not like it should be when it comes to playing some Sega Mega Drive games. And of course, Street of Rage 2 is a great example. You can hear like a lot of weird tunes going on in the soundtrack. So it's a bummer. Nothing beats the real original Sega Mega Drive. Alright, so let's open up this bad boy. It's quite simple. Removing the 4 rubbery feet. There is no sticker that says warranty void this time. I did remove a couple of them, but that is not of an issue because warranty from AliExpress, to your doormat, and when your dispute time is over, you don't have any warranty left. So I don't know if you buy it somewhere else, maybe you get some more warranty, but AliExpress, it's what you see, it's what you're going to get. Therefore, I love to make these videos. Consider subscribing, hit the little bell, and I show you here on the channel what you're going to get, so you don't waste your money. And also a reason why I want to do a teardown. Okay, this time they made it slightly different, and the reason I'm saying it like that, because in the past I have seen some shitty modding. For example, when you had like the top cover, they soldered or hot glued the freaking LED in there, and they soldered it straight to the main board, and they didn't do it today. I think there is not there is an LED. Over here, like the covers, they're using a little bit better springs, but sometimes it is possible after some month of use they get broken. That is just a main issue I have with these devices. Okay, at the bottom we're going to get some new components, because this is the HDMI edition. Here we're going to get the PCB that is connected with a ribbon cable over here with the main board itself. Then we're going to get the main board itself, where all the magic happens with, of course, the cartridge slot. But let's take a close look at the front. Here we're going to get the 2 controller ports that are soldered to this PCB over here. That gives the communication to the main board, also with a nice ribbon cable. Reset, on and off. And then we're having the main board that comes with the famous TCT 6803 chip that I have seen before, but like the chips, they try to mimic the Sega Mega Drive, but they can't mimic the blast processing power, or they like to say it, of course, in the 90s. Over here I have some information, the mini Sega 2 HDMI main version 1.1, and it's made in 2020.